You know how every song you've ever heard just works? It seems to have its own secret language. It knows exactly how to build up excitement, when to make you feel calm, and most importantly, how to come to a really satisfying end. Well, today, we're going to crack that code. We're diving into the musical punctuation that makes it all happen.
I mean, seriously? Have you ever thought about that? How does a piece of music signal that it's over? It's not like it can just flash a sign that says, "the end." There's this incredible hidden system at play, a set of rules that songwriters use to guide our ears and, really, our feelings.
And that system? It's actually something you already get, because you use it every single day when you talk or write. It's punctuation, right? Just like commas give you a little pause and periods bring a sentence to a full stop, music uses specific patterns of chords to do the exact same thing. And we call these patterns cadences.
So basically, a cadence is just a two-chord formula that acts like a stop sign for a musical idea. Simple as that. Without cadences, music would just be this long, rambling, run-on sentence that never goes anywhere. Cadences are what give a song its journey. They build up all that tension and then give us that awesome feeling of release.
All right, so let's start with the endings, the musical periods. There are a few different ways a song can say, "Hey, I'm done now," and each one has a totally different vibe.
So the king of all endings, the big one, is the perfect, authentic cadence. Okay, so think of every song having a home bass chord. We call it the I chord. It's where everything feels stable and resolved. This cadence makes a big journey from the most tense chord, which we call the V chord, and lands right back on that I chord. Bam! It's like the song has been on an adventure and finally made it home. There's absolutely no doubt that the song is over. Now its cousin, the imperfect authentic cadence, does the same basic thing, but it's gentler. It's more like finishing a chapter than finishing the whole book.
Okay, for our next full stop, there's this really famous sound that I guarantee you've heard before, even if you had no idea what it was called. It's often just known as the amen. And this is the plagal cadence. Instead of using that super high-tension V chord, this one moves from a different, much calmer chord, the I chord, back home to the I. See, it doesn't have that same dramatic pull. Instead, it just feels peaceful. It's soulful and reflective. It's super famous from old hymns, but you hear this soulful ending everywhere in all kinds of pop and gospel music too.
All right, so we know how to end the song. But what about all the stuff in the middle? How do you build suspense and keep people listening? Well, that's where the cliffhanger cadences come in. Think of these as your musical question marks and commas.
Let's start with the most common one. Honestly, it feels exactly like this slide looks. Just a big, open question. It leaves you hanging, waiting for an answer. This is the half cadence, and its main trick is that it stops on that really unstable tension chord, the V. That chord feels like it's leaning forward, like it needs to go somewhere else. So when a musical phrase ends right there, our brains just automatically expect more music to follow. It's the perfect way to connect two different parts of a song.
But what if the music sets you up for this big, satisfying ending, and then, at the last second, just pulls the rug out from under you? That's when composers use my absolute favorite cadence, the musical plot twist.
The deceptive cadence is such a brilliant trick. The music builds up all the tension. It's heading for that satisfying home chord. You can feel it coming. But then, boom, at the last second, it just veers off course to a totally unexpected chord, often one that sounds more mysterious or even a little sad. It's a moment of pure surprise that delays the real ending and makes the whole musical story way more interesting.
So, we've got our musical periods, commas, question marks, and even plot twists. But, so what? Why does learning this secret language actually matter? How does it change how you listen to music?
Well, understanding cadences is kind of like getting a musical superpower. As a listener, you suddenly start to hear the emotional roadmap of a song. If you're a performer, you know exactly where to take a breath, where to pause, and how to shape the music. And if you write songs or improvise, this is your whole toolkit for telling amazing stories with sound. You know exactly how to build tension and deliver a killer ending.
And you know the best part is, you don't need to be some kind of musical genius to start hearing this code. Not at all. You just need to know what to listen for.
So, next time you're listening to a song, just try this. First, listen for the pauses, the places where it feels like a musical thought ends. Then just ask yourself, how does that pause feel? Does it feel totally done, like a period? Or does it feel like it's just hanging there, waiting for more? If it's a huge, powerful ending, you've probably just found a perfect, authentic cadence. And if it's one of those calm, peaceful amen endings, you might have just spotted a plagal. It's really that simple.
So, the secret's out. Music isn't just a random collection of notes, it's a language, and it's built on tension and release, on questions and answers. Now that you know the code, the only question left is, what new stories are you going to start hearing in the music you love?